Hello, everyone, and welcome to the icy hills of the Nexus. I will be casting BHO versus VCBC today. They are currently the two lowest ranking teams on Miller. BHO with 80 points and 1 loss, VCBC with 92 points and 1 loss. But I think it's safe to say VCBC are the clear favorites in this match, but we'll have to see. Maybe they get surprised by BHO. They did get surprised in their match against BRTD. So, I will be joined by my co-caster Thunderstorm in a minute. And in the meantime, I'll just talk a bit about VCBC. So, VCBC has been around for quite a long time, especially in the competitive scene. I remember talking to Psycho Zender, the platoon leader in this match and the leader of VCBC, in the very first server smash. That was back when it was on the test server and not on the Jaeger server, so it's been quite a while.
Well, VCBC indeed a big
Yeah.
name on the Miller community. You see them very much on VS, playing very coordinated, playing very efficient. But do you want me to take over the NC part here?
Yeah, Thunderstorm, welcome back. And what do you say about BHO? Apart, I think, from your very well known history with Mike, which we will not go into, what's your opinion about BHO?
Well, let's get this started. First of all, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another beautiful game here of Outfit Wars Season 4 on the Nexus, of course. And I'm gonna give the introduction to BHO. BHO, of course, one of the biggest name inside the Miller community, the NC outfit with the biggest pop, as a lot of people know of. Overall, there's a little bit of history. So what I know of, BHO is around since basically Planetside 1. It was on Miller, then created by a guy called Mesh 5000, who sadly has now quit the game. Then has been taken over by our glorious leader. Mike 33 is back. So we'll see how good Mike is going to be able to lead his platoon here today into the victory, as we all pray that BHO is going to get that W today. But yeah, overall history itself is pretty simple. It's the biggest Zerg fit on Miller. They advertise themselves as the biggest Zerg fit on Miller. They bring loads of numbers. They have a decent amount of base captures. And yeah, we can't complain about that. Mike 43, of course, a very well-known member of the community. And yeah, been around since day one in PlanetSide 2. BHO has been there since day one on the Miller server. So, of course, grew and is still growing and is getting more members and is doing better, hopefully, this match. As go ahead.
Yeah, I just have to say, I've talked to Psycho Zender earlier today, and he told me they are confident they can take this match, though they are a bit careful because they were more confident before the match against BRTD, which went disastrously. So, yeah, I think VCBC as a clear favorite will probably take the match, but BHO will probably also throw a few curveballs their way. But we'll just have to see how it works out.
Well, the biggest question, of course, is what does BHO improve upon from last match? Last match was a disaster for BHO. Without trying to sweet talk it, BHO had a big struggle against what I think is one of the top 4 finalists on Miller, which is, of course, Dick T. Dick T won the match with 420 points to 80, which was a very, very dominant display. So we'll see how BHO adapts to this, because last time everybody saw the opener, it was the galaxies coming out, pretty much being instantly deleted. So we'll see how BHO will adapt to this and if there's going to be a difference this time in score. I'm hoping for a very clean and balanced match. But in the end, you don't know how VCBC will compare to BHO because it's the first time I think these two outfits run into each other with a 48 versus 48 player situation. So we'll see.
Yeah, and as I've said before, VCBC has been in the competitive scene for a long time. They know how to prepare for a match, they know how to recover or learn from a big loss. So I think they will be very much improved in this match. But that said, we are inside the stream delay, which means I can take a look at their openings. I have a 3-minute stream delay. So I see for BHO a lot of Reavers, 2 galaxies. They are repair galaxies. I don't know if they've practiced it actually.
What I've heard actually, one of their platoon leaders, I think actually the second in command currently, Freedom was streaming them doing airballs. So I'm expecting this to be a kind of like a ground pound / anti-air airball, but we'll see how this actually works out.
Okay, let's take a look at VCBC on the red side. We see about, I'd say, an equal amount of size in the air. In addition, there are 2 mech riders I can currently see. And I see 3 galaxies.
There's
can't
4.
tell if
There's
they're
actually
repair.
one on the top right hiding. There's one on the top right hovering, and there's a liberator in the
see
back.
it.
And depending on whoever's currently in that liberator, that lib could be the downfall of Airball.
I can't see
It's
the
all
name
the
for the
way in the back.
liberators.
Let me check. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to get us.
Better not risk screwing anything because currently everything is screwed for me. I flew into a mountain. So that's why the whole map suddenly disappeared. So yeah, the match should be starting right now.
Well, let's see how this is gonna go. Of course, both teams start with their 3 bases, so we'll see who's gonna be taking the first one. But I'm expecting a big clash in the middle first.
Yeah, first all those Sais and Reavers will really have to fight each other for air dominance. It's an usual opening, bring a lot of air and run the enemy air out of resources, so later on your own air squad can more easily dominate air. I already have one person dropping on hydroponics compound, the blue rectangle base.
And this is super interesting because it seems like BHO is being torn to shreds. BHO seems like to have half of their Reavers equipped with ground pounders. So, and VCBC seems to have pretty much 90% anti-air Reaver. So they're basically just sitting and currently plowing and shredding through the Reavers. And I see a majority of Scythe still alive, but not many Reavers anymore.
Oh yeah, and I actually see the platoon leader flying here in a Scythe, Psycho Xander. And apart from that, I see 2 Reavers still around, but I'm fairly certain VCBC dominated this air fight. There's not much air left from BHO, and that is very hard to handle later down the line when you have enemy ground pound killing your every push. So
well, this was really interesting because what I was able to spot out there was the coordination of VCBC. There was not one Reaver versus one Scythe. There was 5 Scythes targeting one Reaver, and you just saw people be deleted in an instant.
And I'm looking now at the tech plant. BHO has all 3 points. They're sitting in there. They don't seem to have any maxes or cheese vehicles inside. How is the situation on the other bases?
Well, currently here on Bitter George Garrison, there's a lot of BHO pop on the ground. They are currently controlling all points. And they have a decent amount of actually lightnings here. But there's of course the Maggies that are coming through. Lady Loses right there. And it's Etzwell currently in their Mag Riders doing work, trying to get rid of that pesky anti-air. So we'll see how this is gonna keep going.
VCBC really needs to switch to infantry now. If they stay in the air too long, then the bases will be hard to save in the last second. I'm now with you on Bitter Gorge, and I see one max from VCBC on the A point.
So, let me check this. VCBC seems to be now in control of all the points on Bitter Gorge Garrison. But BHO is controlling the middle base, as well as on the other side you have a little bit of like 1v1 squad fight happening, trying to make sure that the bases don't fall. But let's see, because now VCBC actually brought a few ground pounders.
Yeah, and ground pound on the northwestern neutral Bitter Gorge Garrison is really effective. It's very hard to move between the points if you constantly get shelled by, in this case, PPA or rocket pods, most likely rocket pods. But at the moment, still BHO has 2 points on Bitter Gorge and is flipping the third one with someone called Traitor Verrill.
And Traitor Verrill, oh no.
And he lost the duel against Bapti.
So let's see. Bapti, of course, the legend, coming back in for VCBC. Everybody blamed the man for the loss against BRTD, so let's see if Bapti can actually make a difference this time. Now, on the side here on Bitter Gorge Garrison, VCBC going into an into the aggression is starting to re-secure the points. A point is now flipping, currently moving towards B, and the C point is gonna fall. There's Freedom actually on the point. Let's see if Freedom can actually secure this by himself, because there's already a VCBC member running up. And it doesn't help that Freedom is just standing there AFK, so he's gonna get shredded down. But
He
there's actually a
probably
decent
looked
amount of
at the
air.
map. But it's important to note the VCBC completely abandoned the tech plant neutral. It went through basically without a fight for BHO.
Oh, do you think VCBC is trying to be slick about this? Because VCBC is already sending people to hydroponics. There's already people on hydroponics securing the point. So there's not really a valuable backup happening. So if they can actually sort this out and keep this secure, they can already go for Nexus Omega.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if they get hydroponics compound, which is what I'm looking at, and which looks fairly well defended by VCBC, then they will cut off the tech plant neutral, and that base won't actually matter for scoring.
Exactly.
And it gives them the one link they need to the home base. So I do not think they will instantly attack the home base. It's a hard base to attack. Oh, we actually see NC Vanguards attacking Bitter Gorge Garrison.
Yes, sir. And I believe this is currently an attempt to make sure they can't get back cap, but that's too late already. Slate Canyon Holt already has 2 squads of people sitting on it. So, once again, BHO doesn't seem to find the speed they need to secure the points.
Yeah, they have secured the point for now, but VCBC is coming back in. They do not seem to have a Thunder around. They only have 2 beacons, which is mostly fine in organized squad play.
It seems like they're gonna actually just group up on the roof currently, and then potentially drop the point, but they have to be quick, because Bitter Gorge Garrison is under assault by BHO, and this could...
Does BHO have a point at Bitter Gorge?
Not yet, it seems. Let me check. Actually, they have the C point under control.
Okay, that means VCBC actually needs to send people back to flip the point back, otherwise all their time here will be wasted. Let me just check hydroponics compound. There seems to be a fight happening over there.
And this is the important one, because this is where BHO needs to locate all of their forces to right now. Because if they lose this, and you can see the glorious leader, Mike Pretty himself, already moving into point, is now there with his max cleaning out VCBC, but is gonna go down in the end, because there's gonna be Dredge pretty much ready with the C4. Loads of tank mines actually spread all around the place, which indeed is a very good counter to max rushes.
Yeah, and for now, BHO seems to be stuck in the small forward building. There are quite a lot of BHO players in there.
And you see just Bopti holding this all by himself.
Yep.
This is gonna find another one. Medkit gets used, and this is gonna keep holding the angles. Bopti on the side here, with a teammate, and it's gonna try to push into this building. I'm not sure if that's the best idea. As now Bopti's gonna get flanked by an entire armada of BHO coming in, but it's only 40 seconds, and the majority of the VS Pop is still holding on point.
Yeah, and BHO are mostly just trickling in. There's no hammer push for any door. They are just slowly trickling in, poking a door here, a door there. And
Again, Mike
VCBC,
coming through with his max onto point.
I see him on the point. Here's another pink
that's
max.
a big push. And now the reinforcements coming through from the top. Lots of VCBC infantry rushing the point here, and they need to keep this secure. You see one of the maxes going dangerously low, and they just keep to have the fight going. C4 is left and right. Mike still standing. Oh,
and
this
there
is
are
gonna be
too
interesting.
few VCBC players. Actually, they...
Oh, the revive knight coming through.
the maxes are down. So
It is though, one max against the world.
one max
super
at
low
1
HP.
HP, and
The,
there it's gone.
the revive nade though is there, and they captured in the last second. But they brought a lot of pop here.
So
They
this
brought
base
basically
has
everything.
been saved for now, but yeah, it's really BHO throwing a lot of stuff at it. But we actually outside see now VCBC mech riders. I'm not sure what the use is for this base. It's not really a vehicle base. There's one BHO Vanguard that got instantly murdered. And it looks like VCBC is making a new attack. I see
There's
lots of drops on the roof.
Exactly, and it seems like VCBC is gonna commit to this. They want this space. They do not want to let BHO retake this, as it's indeed a very valuable cap. As think what is happening in Bitter Gorge? Let me check this.
Yeah, it looks like VCBC is actually ignoring Bitter Gorge to flip the space. And for some reason I can hear their proximity chat from VCBC.
Well, I thankfully don't have that issue yet. Well, it seems like VCBC is still trying hard to get into the building, but they're struggling as there's loads of maxes all over the place. But now they're actually starting to commit to point. And there now there's a full squad, probably even two, committing onto point, and they're now flipping. Basically the entire platoon of VCBC has made it to point, and now they're refreshed. New tank mines, new turrets, new rockets, everything that you need. And you just see the ground pounder scythes wasting people on the bridge as they're trying to cross towards the point. And now VCBC actually in a very good position to just secure the space.
Yeah, BHO now has just 1 minute. They barely got it with 4 minutes time to push the point. Now they have 1 minute, and it will be really difficult to push the point in that short amount of time. It's not a long way from the spawn to the point, but you have to fight through all those enemies, and they are just waiting for you. So that
The problem is,
I do not currently see any tank mines set up.
I think the problem is there's a lot of nanite waste right at the start. They pumped a lot of maxes out to get the point secured, and now you even see Mike 33 in a heavy. So you see that the nanite situation is very desperate right now. They are committing back onto point. There's a big amount of BHO actually on point, and they're gonna be able to secure it again.
Yeah, they just walked in there, and VCBC didn't really put up a lot of resistance. They hadn't set up, there were no mana turrets on the top of small stairs, no tank mines set up, no proximity mines.
The question I have is, will they keep committing to this, or have they committed back over? Now it seems like Bitter George is not gonna be re-secured. Yeah, see VCBC there with a decent amount of pop. And even though BHO has more bases right now, which is indeed very interesting. But VCBC is not giving up. There's still beacons up, they still keep dropping. The question is, how long can they keep this up until BHO either gets pushed out of point, or they're losing their hold on the base?
Yeah, VCBC really put all their eggs into this one base basket,
Ooh.
and they didn't get it, and they sacrificed quite a lot on the map for it. But we'll have to see if VCBC can actually regain the territory and maybe, yeah, renew the attack. I can now see they are on RSX ZCOM, the tech plant neutral, they are on Bitter Gorge, having all 3 points on both bases. So,
Well, the questions, there's a lot of aggression coming up from VCBC now. So the question is going to be, what do you hold? Because Granite Reactor is showing a lot of VCBC pop, but most of it is currently in air. So they need to make sure they keep this hold onto this base, because this is a very crucial base.
yeah, VCBC tried for the sledgehammer approach, go through one base and go directly for the warp gate essentially, but the max crashes from BHO always kick them off point, and now they have to make a more strategic approach. Just go for more bases simultaneously, force BHO to split up, which is something on live play they are not very good at. But we'll have to see how BHO reacts to this in actual competitive play.
And well, we're gonna realize this pretty much now. BHO now actually committing onto a defense over at Bitter Gorge Garrison. Basically the same pop, but again, VCBC having a very clear plan. They want to hold the bridges, and BHO is basically walking in one by one against full groups of people. So we have to see if they can actually manage this. And there's again lots of ground pounders here, which is going to be the primary question if they can do it or not.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that I occasionally still see BHO Airhammer Reaver. So VCBC doesn't have full dominance of the air yet, but it's good enough to murder the occasional push.
Well, I'm watching Freedom try to run away from a Maggie in a, of course, inside of a lightning there. But it seems like BHO has resecured all points. Or, no, yeah, they do.
All 3 points are currently in the hands of VCBC, but 2 of them are flipping.
Wait, who's red, who's blue? For blue
Red
points are
is
gonna
VCBC.
be... Why is BHO red for me? This is confusing.
If you go to settings, interface, set your colors to Empire colors. That makes things easier.
Copy that.
It's
What do we
really
have that?
confusing when the colors
If
don't
it was
match.
coloring.
Yeah, use Empire colors for
Empire
everything.
color. Copy.
Luckily, the recent patch actually fixed that, so those settings actually work.
Thank you, Rel. Appreciate the help of the casting, of course. Well, let's see. That makes a lot more
Okay.
sense now.
Yeah, VCBC going for B point with 2 guys, 3 guys actually. Yeah, BHO is currently not defending those points.
And VCBC is again committed over to hydroponics. So hydroponics again under heavy assault by VCBC. VCBC seems to have put, seems like at least 80% of their forces onto this base. And BHO is again counter pushing. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can actually manage to keep a hold onto this time. Because, well, loads of infantry, there's even tanks around. But there's still the ground pounders on the side of VCBC, which make it really difficult to be able to get even remotely into this point. Bobty actually in an infiltrator. Never thought I would see this.
Yeah, Bitter Gorge Garrison got defended at the last second. All 3 points went to BHO. And now let's see at hydroponics compound. VCBC is not really very strongly set up. They do have tank mines placed to counter the max push. They have 1 mana turret, but they are kind of spread thin inside.
There's one big issue. Granite. Granite is being flipped for BHO. So they have to reply to this. They cannot ignore this because they're about to be cut off. And this, if this is gonna be a match of being cut off, Is it still a win if you get cut off from the main base, but they take hydroponics and they move to Nexus?
Yes, it is not supposed to be, but Vrel wrote in a tweet recently that flipping the home base actually instantly wins the match, even if cut off. And we actually see an NC Max Crash again on Hydroponics Compound.
But this time it's gonna get shut down real quick as the orbital strike's gonna come in already. Boom!
I
Loads of
think
people
both
flying.
Maxes were already dead. But
Seems like it.
Yeah.
And that's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is gonna be interesting.
For VCBC.
Do they have people on Nexus Omega already? They do. There's even a Thunderer already set up. They are ready for this. This is potentially one of the weirdest ways a match could end.
Yeah, they're
Being cut
flipping the
off?
point.
Being cut off, taking Nexus. This is super interesting.
We have Lost Martian sitting on the point alone at Nexus Omega, flipping the base for VCBC.
And that's 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's a
VCBC
very long cap, so BHO has plenty of time to respond.
Exactly. VCBC has resecured Nexus secure substation. So they're holding basically, well, 3 bases versus 4. And this is a very, very dangerous endeavor. Because if you do not make this capture, BHO is going to take more points simply on the bases held. You can have hydroponics as much as you want. It doesn't matter in the end because it doesn't give you points. Same now with Aztec Setcom. As Aztec Setcom has been cut off, BHO doesn't get any points for it. But in the end, you have 4 bases ticking for BHO right now and only 3 for VCBC.
Yeah, exactly. So VCBC needs to either succeed with this one attack on the space, or they need to return and take some of the other bases. But they need to do one or the other, because it will be very difficult to do both at the same time. BHO can just max crash the space again and again.
I'm currently inside the point hold that VCBC is having, and it doesn't seem that efficient to me. There's a few turrets, a few infantry, but that's it. I don't even see like many medics. See like 1 medic inside the point, and this is a very risky endeavor by VCBC.
It seems to be a small amount of players inside. Let me just check if there are more somewhere else on the map. It looks like VCBC is actually attacking Granite Head Reactor at the same time. They do have at least 4 people there.
Well, BHO has taken it back.
Yeah, the point can be taken back if you have the overpop, and if your opponent doesn't have everything on the space, then yeah, you can just push the point repeatedly and get it back eventually. But VCBC is still fighting through it from the Thunderer. BHO hasn't detected the Thunderer yet.
The question is, can they actually get a hold of the point? I mean, there's a loads more infantry spawning in now for VCBC. Basically, I think everything they have currently, except maybe like 1 or 2 individuals, are being sent to the space because there's like a small backup going at Granite Reactor, so they can't recap hydroponics, as Aztec is being ghost capped and Granite Head is being ghost capped. Same time, BHO is like 1 guy on our gym pass. Same time though with VCBC. This is gonna be an entire fight about this. Nexus Omega. And VCBC has secured the point.
Yeah, exactly. But VCBC is on the clock. If they don't capture more bases, then if they don't have the space in 23 minutes, they will still lose the match.
Exactly. They need to get the points. And I think VCBC is doing a good approach at this, as Aztec Setcom is currently being ghost capped. And if they have 3 points on that, that's very good. And as most people know, BHO is not really known for being able to split their pop really efficiently. So you probably have Mike currently telling the entire platoon to go to Nexus Omega to secure that. In the meanwhile, you have 3 bases, which could basically be ghost capped. Granite
exactly.
Reactor is probably going to go through. Same with R6 Satcom. They can't even spawn there because it's cut off. And Granite Reactor only has a minute and 10 seconds left on it. And as long as the fight is here, you don't have the pop to actually commit to it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised that there's just a very low amount of players inside the actual point at Nexus Omega. I'm counting just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 VS, I think. And that's not how you hold a max crash, whether it's BHO or anyone else doing the max crash. But on the other hand, you can only max crash so often before your resources run out. I see Mike 33 without his max, so he seems to be out of nanites already.
Well, there's a big push now coming in from BHO, but there's of course a lone Spitfire in there. Pack Lunch and Spandex currently wiping people out left and right. Anybody coming through the doors getting a bullet. And that's not what you like to see if you're on the side of BHO. There's not many people left inside on point. I maybe count like 6 or 7 VCBC members. But it's enough to currently hold on to point. The side has flipped. So you can see on the side, on the right, they're struggling with keeping that secure, that door. But there's still more drops coming in from the back. And there's another whole squad dropping into point to help secure it.
And there's another NC Max pushing in on the point, but it's already at 10% health.
The turret's just gonna keep spraying.
But the Max safely made it out thanks to the Aegis shield. And in the meantime, Granite Head Reactor actually went for VCBC. And RZ Zcom is also going for VCBC. So now VCBC has actually captured 2 bases, which will mean even if they don't take this base and no more bases flip, then they will win this match. Not the way they probably want, through capturing the home base, but they will still win it on the base count.
And you on the outside currently, you can see 3 Maggies giving a lot of trouble to the BHO forces there. There's a bunch of tanks, as well as a few individual lightnings roaming around, fighting against basically 3 Mag Riders. And they're struggling. They're really struggling to get out of the walk.
If you look very high, you see Mad Moon in a Mech Rider on the hill.
Oh,
just
damn.
sniping vehicles from afar. I think at this distance he will be very happy about the upcoming Mech Rider primary weapon that has no bullet drop and can easily hit targets at this range.
Well, currently 6 bases for VCBC. Argent Pass that got recently basically backcapped by BHO, now resecure.
Yeah.
VCBC is still trying to take this here, but there's basically a full platoon of BHO sitting inside the point.
Yeah, exactly. So Nexus Omega is firmly in the hands of BHO currently, but VCBC has not given up on it. They keep clearing out flanking spawns on the space, but they are not really making progress on the point itself at the moment. They are just poking and prodding and getting the timer down very slowly.
Well, let's see what this is going to be. Oh, that's a massive drop coming in from the air. I see basically an entire platoon jumping onto this point, and the rush is coming through. Now the entirety of VCBC moving in onto point. And the question is, how long can BHO hold this? Because from every door, there's VCBC flushing in, and you just see people left and right jumping. BHO struggling so much of the combined pop of VCBC now rushing them down. And, well, point is flipping indeed. So let's see if VCBC can keep holding onto this. Led Lancer here trying to get a valiant last hold onto this point. But in the end, the amount of VCBC that just came out of the air, it just felt like, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
It's
definitely. VCBC
Hallelujah.
brought everything in the kitchen sink to this fight. And now they are sitting on it again, 4 minutes to cap. So BHO needs to do a big push again, but they've repeatedly done successful pushes. So VCBC really needs to figure out how to hold the next one. At least this time they do have a lot more people actually on the point. I'm
And
counting
again-
at least a full squad.
And again, BHO doing very intelligent moves actually. Sitting on 2 bases, ghost capping. Grenade Reactor, thankfully somebody at VCBC currently is replying to it, but there's 2 beacons up. And they are now on basically all 3 points. 1 minute till this is captured. And on the other side, Argent Pass is currently being backcapped. 3 minutes 40 on the clock there though, so that's going to be interesting. Now, point-wise, you have 230 to 230, so very even, surprisingly. With 40 points left, but VCBC now, with every minute that ticks, they get 6 points. And this is going to become an issue for BHO.
Yeah, so that's it. The points will soon stop mattering. I mean, there are just 22 points left in the pool, which will majority go to VCBC.
This is interesting. VCBC just deployed a Citadel shield over the top of Nexus Omega, basically not allowing BHO to shoot out of their own spawn room, meaning that they are going to be struggling with the amount, well, with the anti-air duty. But you can see Mike actually on the left here.
I see it. He is doing a flank around the northwest side. A long way to walk, and he only has about
3 pocket medics.
More than half a squad with him. Lots of pocket medics, but VCBC is set up for them. Mike is alone now at the front, not getting repaired. There are 2 medic NGs on him.
Rocket. Grenade comes through. Tank mine thrown towards Mike. Mike has to watch out to not push into that. Gets hit by the tank mine. A C4 follows up, and that's Mike. Again down. 2 minutes left on the clock, and VCBC is not going to be able to actually re-secure the stair hold. Reviving everybody that dropped. People trying to push it, but it's only 2 minutes left on the clock to make this match be done with.
Yeah, definitely. BHO now really needs to hurry up. Their flank failed. They do have people running around a bit aimlessly on the top of the point, atop the point, but so far I don't really see a coordinated push coming now.
And BHO is just scrambling to focus. You can see them try to get inside the point, but the ground pounder still putting a lot of pressure into the front entrance. But now, finally, BHO seems to get a foothold. They're now currently moving in, and it seems like they may actually be able to secure the point.
Yeah, I see it. BHO actually broke the VCBC defense. Maybe they ran them out of revive grenades or something like that. And now BHO is back on point. In the meantime, VCBC did lose 1 base, which is the Granite Head Reactor. VCBC also has people on Bitter Gorge Garrison. So Bitter Gorge might soon flip for VCBC, but we have to see if VCBC tries to renew the attack on Nexus Omega.
Well, I have to give huge props, of course, to BHO. BHO obviously has been improving over the last match. They are now holding their own against one of the better known, more organized outfits here in VCBC. And it was a close one, let's be honest. We had like 1 minute left on the clock until that base went through. But BHO does not intend to be again warp-gated by a VS faction. And now they're just hard focusing this point, not letting anybody inside. And the only thing I can imagine getting them a successful capture onto this is going to be, of course, a full-on airdrop. And you can already see it coming. You can already see as Lost Martian currently and Quad currently with their galaxies hovering on the hillside, potentially getting ready for another galaxy to join them, to group up with people. And I see 4 galaxies. It seems like they're gonna try to just hold.
I see 1 galaxy actually deployed, and I see people switching into mechs on the deployed galaxies.
This is actually brilliant.
So we will see a lot of mexes dropping on Nexus Omega very soon.
I see in the back, towards their warp gate, there's another galaxy currently deploying mexes. So we'll see how efficient they can be on this, because they have to be quick. Because in case BHO is going to be fast on hydroponics, they're losing the Letus line. Actually, it doesn't matter, never mind. Nexus Omega is still 3 minutes on the countdown. And it seems like they're going to commit. 4 galaxies inbound, 7 people in one, 10 people in one. That's only 1 in there, 9 people in the other. And it seems like VCBC is gonna do it again. Full platoon drop inbound, but you can see the ground pounder Reaver here for BHO. And is gonna struggle trying to get any value. And that's everybody. Again, once again, VCBC is not gonna be denied. VCBC is gonna keep trying. VCBC is gonna keep fighting here. Beacons going up. And they are again rushing into point.
But one of their pushes already got defeated in detail towards the spawn room. I see lots of dead VS. But they are pushing in from the other side. They are making progress and they are kicking BHO off the point. So maybe the VS Max can get a revive. No, he respawned. So yeah, it's looking very well currently for VCBC again. But they have to be careful. They've been kicked off now 4 times, I think. So we'll see how they adapt to the next push. The one thing that is important to note is this time they brought a lot more maxes. Previously there were maybe 1 max in the whole push, and now there were, I saw at least 4 or 5 maxes. So some of them died on the push and didn't get revives. So we have to see how many are left. I see 2 actually on towards the spawn room, and that's it on maxes. So again, a very light setup on maxes.
Exactly, and I had to really quickly just rejoin the match because I got my observer camera stuck.
Yeah, that happens.
But on that note, they're gonna keep trying. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, you have 2 minutes. They cannot get their pop out of this if VCBC keeps doing this. So they are currently hard focused. I see Nexus secure substation though. There's some BHO over there trying to secure it, but Nexus, of course, map awareness on the side of Psycho here maybe. All the squad leaders themselves very, very aware of what's going on the map. Already being re-secured. So let's see how well they can do this.
Saw several NC maxes actually dying in front of the door from the spawn room, and they didn't get revived, so that's a lot of resources that could have been in one coordinated push. We have to see whether they can pull more maxes again, or whether
I'm currently watching Bapti
just
be the sole bulwark, denying any BHO to come out of the left stairs or right stairs, depending on perspective. Just denies them. And it's again down to 2 minutes. So we'll see how well they can do this. In the meanwhile, BHO can potentially be stocked back up. And you see Mike again with the flank from the left side.
He is pushing around the northwest again. But again, there are not a lot of people actually following him. I don't know if it's intentional, but there's a Galaxy.
Bulldog.
Yeah, Galaxy is softening up the push, but actually it's just a bit of shield damage. No one died in the push so far from the Bulldog.
That's again gonna be interesting, because this time VCBC is not prepared. They do not have what they want on those stairs to keep it secure, but Mike again took 1 decimate already to the face. A C4 follows it,
down.
And that's 3 people down.
And in the meantime,
too low, already in the revive from Mike there, and that's an entire BHO squad moving in.
one flank of the base has been taken by BHO. Looking from VCBC right side, but they are taking control back for it. There's still heavy fighting on that side, but now there's a heavily damaged Max, and it's going down. So
we have 45 seconds. 45 seconds for BHO to resecure this, and this is now do or die. 40 seconds.
We see a Burster Max actually pushing in alone and deciding not to. I saw you land Bob, I think. You're moving
that's
too
another
fast.
orbital strike coming through. They do not want any max push coming in. They're gonna, just in preparation.
But BHO is pushing from the other side actually, so the orbital didn't actually hit them.
But they're ready. VCBC is holding them. We have 10 seconds. 10 seconds on the clock. Can BHO actually come back into this? This is gonna be the question here. VCBC holding on to it. 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's GG's, ladies and gentlemen. Well played, everybody. Very well played from both sides.
That's really a nice match. I thought it wouldn't be that close. I gave a higher probability of VCBC finishing it off early, but it actually turned out to be quite a nice match. There was a bit of movement on the map, small groups of people fighting each other, and yeah. For now, let's switch to the next match. I will just restart the stream, and after that it will be the Sentinels of the Conglomerate against Druckwelle, Pol against DWHQ. So stay tuned, stream will restart, we'll be back shortly.